The brand new Five Nights at Freddy's 2 figurines have hit shelves and they look incredible, guys. These guys are fantastic. They have jump scare action, their sculpts are amazing, their paint is amazing, everything is amazing. All this Five Nights at Freddy's 2 love is great, but where are the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 figurines? Today in this video we're going to take a look at them, we're going to see what's going on with them, what they do, and everything else in between. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So unfortunately, we don't have these physically yet. They have not released, and we don't know when because Jazwares seemingly loves to just release things randomly. But we have a lot of really good pictures, so I thought we'd take a look at everything, including the Withered characters we're getting, the sets we're getting, and even a Shadow Freddy figurine. I never thought I'd see the day, guys, but it's here, so let's get straight into it. We'll start off with our main man, Freddy. So here's a look at the box. So this series is called the Endo Series, which is essentially you get a figurine of an Endo skeleton, and then you get two suits of two characters that you can put onto the Endo skeleton. So it's kind of like getting three figurines in one, because you're getting one of Freddy, you're getting one of Toy Freddy, and you're getting an Endo skeleton figurine. Obviously there is a downside of just having a random suit laying around, but you know what? I think it's worth it because I think this is a great idea. I think it's a really good initiative and a really good way to just get all these figurines probably at a cheaper price than it would be buying them all separately. So our first set here is, of course, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Freddy, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Endo skeleton, and then Five Nights at Freddy's 2's Withered Freddy. So a lot of you have probably noticed that there's a huge mistake here already, and that is that the Endo skeletons change between FNaF 1 and 2. I guess they don't really care that much about that happening, really. I mean, the Endo skeleton won't even be able to be seen when Withered Freddy's suit is over it, so it doesn't matter too much, but it bothers me, and it'll probably bother other people, but in the end, it really doesn't matter. Anyway, let's take a look at this photo. So this is them both with the Endo skeleton suit on. So Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Freddy, who we're going to be calling Classic Freddy now, because that's what Jazwares are calling him. Oh, this one's hard. Okay, so he looks great, right? We can all agree he looks fantastic. His sculpt is amazing. He looks very accurate. But the biggest issue is the paint. He looks like he's made out of plastic. And I am not exaggerating here. There is not an ounce of dirt, of grime, of anything on this guy. He looks way too clean. These are characters that should have been like unwashed for like 30 years, right? Like he should look really messed up. Like the Funko ones, they did it perfectly where they look dirty, and even in their mold they look like they had been through a lot. So seeing him look virtually brand new, like he was just made by William, I don't know, I don't really like it. I think the sculpt is amazing, but I'm just not a fan of how clean he looks. Another thing I'm not a huge fan of is his eyes. So there's two issues I have with his eyes. When you look at the game model, you can see that the eyes don't fully fit the suit. There's a bit of black around them. And I think this is something that not only makes him look a little bit creepy, but also makes him look really charming and very calm, because the eyelids are also like half down. So these guys always look calm, which is probably intentional, because then when they jump scare you, their eyes open up fully and they look terrifying. So to fit the Endo skeleton, it seems like they've just made the eyes properly fit, and it makes the eyes look smaller actually, but it just makes them look really big, like they're absolutely giant. And then on top of that, like I said before, because they're not kind of half shut with the eyelids, he looks like he's shocked to his core, like he's freaking out. And I don't like this. I don't like how it looks. I think if the Endo skeleton had adjustable eyelids, this would have been perfect, but they don't. So it's a real shame, because he looks like he's just freaking out about something. Maybe he's like just watched another kid get killed or something, I don't know. But yeah, that's how I feel about this guy. The sculpt looks fantastic. The colors are pretty good, but there's just no dirt or grime or anything on him, and I think that really makes him look honestly cheap. It looks like a McDonald's toy almost. Anyway, enough about Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Freddy. Let's talk about Withered Freddy. So Withered Freddy is definitely a step in the right direction. He suffers from the same eye issue, because I don't think the Endo skeleton will have adjustable eyes. But I think he looks a lot better. I think Withered Freddy's suit's having wider eyes, honestly. I think it makes more sense for him. And the paint took a huge step up here. He actually does look kind of dirty. Now, for a Withered character, I think he should look a bit dirtier. And I think the colors are a bit bright. I think they should be a bit kind of toned down. But he honestly looks pretty good. I think his belly patch is a bit low, but I think it's something that most people won't really care that much about. So all I can really say is I wish he had more wires hanging off him, like the models do in the games, and I wish he was a bit dirtier. Otherwise, though, I think he looks great. They nailed the sculpt on this guy. He looks really good. Yeah, this one I really don't have much to complain about because honestly, he genuinely looks really good. They've done really well. So let's take a look at Freddy's endoskeleton now. So this is what it looks like without either of the suits on. So as you can see, there's tons of holes in him. This is where the suit pieces are most likely going to click into, like Lego pieces. This makes me anxious because if these are hard to click in and they just fall right back out, we're going to have a worse issue than when Funko figurines would click apart really easily. It's literally going to be worse than that, and nobody wants a repeat of that because that was so annoying and frustrating. So if this is happening again, that's a real bummer. But, you know, let's think positive. Let's hope not. Honestly, I think he looks fantastic, though. He's not very rusty, but, like, he does have dirt on him, which I think makes sense. I don't think they're that dirty in the games. They're pretty clean, if anything. But, yeah, I like that there is a bit of dirt here. And the face looks great. The eyes look great. See, here he looks a bit more normal because his eyes are kind of relaxed. But on the Freddy figurines, there is nothing there. So he looks horrified. But yeah, pretty good. And it looks like he'll be able to tilt at the like base, kind of with a spine thing, so he can move side to side, which is pretty cool. I'm excited for that. Anyway, not much else to say, so let's take a look at Bonnie's Endo Series 2-pack. So here we have Classic Bonnie and Withered Bonnie. So we'll start with normal Bonnie, Classic Bonnie, sorry. And he looks great. I think this is significantly better than Freddy, honestly. I think he looks great in the box. Endoskeleton looks great, and Withered Bonnie, I mean, he looks like his face is even more messed up. So let's just get him out of the box and take a look at the photos we have. So here is Classic Bonnie out of the box, and there are immediately a few things that the box hides that I don't like. The first and main thing is that his ears are straight up. Why are they not even slightly tilted? I mean, I could be wrong. These could tilt when you get him. You could be able to mess around with them, but honestly, having them stuck straight up just looks like they didn't put any effort into moving him or his model or anything. This is an issue that Funko Bonnie had as well, and I just don't really like it. I wish that they had even a little bit of articulation to them, or there was even a little bit of effort put into moving them around, but no, nothing. But I will say, from the prototypes, I remember these silver bits weren't painted. Now they are, so there has obviously been an effort to make changes and stuff. But like Freddy, he does suffer from the issue of having very, very clean paint, which really sucks. But he does look great. His sculpt looks great. And the face. So his eyes don't actually fully fit. And look how much better that looks than Freddy's. He doesn't look like he's tweaking out. He looks like he's actually calm and chill. So that is really cool. Anyway, not much else to say. So let's move on to Withered Bonnie, who looks fantastic. So yeah, Withered Bonnie looks amazing. I have like nothing bad to say about him. The withering looks a lot better. He is still a little bit too clean, but the withering looks a lot better, especially where it's sculpted in and you can actually see the endoskeleton through it. Like, that is such a cool idea that only these figurines could do, so I'm really glad they're taking full advantage of it. One thing I am very confused by, though, is why his shin just has random paint on it when they literally could have just sculpted that in, and it looks awful. Like, I don't know why they did that. But I like that they didn't give him his other foot, because it means that you have to use the endoskeleton one. So yeah, I think they really cooked with this guy. I think he looks great. My favorite part is probably the fact that it uses the actual endoskeleton head inside, rather than having like a fake endoskeleton head over it. And the eyes look weird, but this is probably because you'll have to take the eyes out. So I think it's a bit of sacrifice for what honestly is a worthwhile, really good figurine. The only thing I'm curious about is the arm. I wonder how they're going to go about that, if you're just going to have to remove the endoskeleton's arm and just put that on yourself. Probably. But, you know, it doesn't really matter that much. It still looks great. The only thing I would have changed is I would have added a bit of color to the wires. I think they look very bland, whereas I feel like in the game there was a bit more color to them. You know, like green and blue and red wires, but here it's just a gray blob. I'm not a huge fan of that, but otherwise, he looks fantastic. So the Bonnies are great. And we'll just quickly take a look at the Bonnie endoskeleton because it's virtually the exact same as Freddy's, just different colored eyes. And it looks really good. They did great. The eyes, I do notice, are not painted black though, which is strange. But yeah, so we don't have a look at the Chica Endo Series set or the Foxy's Endo Series set properly. But we do have a small look at them. So let's take a look at these now. So these were revealed at Comic-Con or something the other day. So we'll start with Chica. Classic Chica looks really, really good. The eyes do look a little weird. Something about the face is just off. I really can't put my finger on what it is, but everything else looks great about this figurine. Obviously, it's not dirty again, but she still looks great. I think they've done well, so yeah, I don't have much to say about her, honestly. She looks really good. She could be better, obviously, but yeah, pretty good. Now we're going to take a look at Withered Chica, which is where things start to go a bit downhill. So the body and the arms look great. They look withered. They have paint. The wires on Chica's hands look really, really bad, I think. They don't look anything like Withered Chica's ones. Like with Withered Bonnie, you could get away with it. But here, they're just way too like blobby and big, and there is no color to them. It's all gray. But then it gets even worse when you look at Withered Chica's face. This face is just so off. I don't know if it's the eyes or what, but something about it just looks like it's made for little kids, like a McDonald's toy, instead of being, you know, scary characters from a horror series. So yeah, I don't like her at all. I'll probably still pick her up. But yeah, she looks pretty bad. These could be prototypes, but they probably aren't, honestly. Anyway, then we're going to take a look at Foxy. Foxy thankfully looks pretty good. The only real complaints I have about him is his paint looks a bit weird. Like his shorts look really dark, but this could just be because the photo was taken off of like a projector or something. And also he doesn't have his endoskeleton parts in his ears, but this is probably a prototype thing because I remember Freddy and Bonnie suffered from the same issue. But now that they've been officially revealed, they look a lot better. So that's probably an issue they have there. I think the issue with the eyes is that the irises are way too big and they look like they're like, you know, in love or something, like a cartoon thing, which is just silly. They should be a bit smaller. But overall, he looks really good. There is another thing that I'm not a fan of though, and that's the fact that his chest scar looks to be painted on. Why wouldn't you just mold that in so that you could see the endoskeleton under it? Like, isn't that the whole point of these figurines, is that you can see the endoskeleton underneath them? This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But he also looks to have some weird paint across his chest. I don't know what that's about, but that's probably going to be removed by the time that we see them properly. Hopefully, let's hope. Anyway, of course, then we have a look at our very first Withered Foxy figurine, and he looks pretty good too. I really like that they take advantage of the endoskeleton with, you know, his ear and bit of head fully poking out. Like, that is so cool. The paint again does look a bit strange, especially around his waist where the endoskeleton shows. I will be really upset if they don't just fully take that part out and have the endoskeleton showing like it is in the figurine, because like this is the only time you can fully take advantage of that. Why would you not use it to like all of your, you know, potential? I don't know. I don't understand why. I really hope these are prototypes because I don't understand why they're not taking more advantage of the fact that these guys have the endoskeletons underneath them. Another thing I did notice is that Foxy is slightly inaccurate with the 3 toes. Yeah, this is inaccurate because Withered Foxy has them, but FNaF 1 Foxy doesn't. So this is an issue because of the endoskeletons, and honestly I can look past it, I don't care that much, but I do just think it's interesting that there is a slight inaccuracy. But again, it's really not that big a deal, and who knows, it might even be changed before final release. So that's the best look that we have at all these guys now, but that's not it, because we have an exclusive Freddy Endo Series pack that comes with Shadow Freddy. This is so cool, and he looks great. He looks really good. So yeah, it looks like Jazwares Vault. Maybe that's some sort of exclusive thing that they do. I don't really know how it works, but it looks really, really cool. And it looks like his eyes will be covered somehow because they're black with the white dots. So I'm intrigued to see how that works, but we are going to have to wait a while before these get properly revealed and everything, and we get a better look at everything about these guys. So yeah. I also think it's worth mentioning that we got a look at Chica and Foxy in the Endo series a while back on the back of these boxes, and they look kind of different. So classic Foxy still has the 3 toes, it looks like, but he also doesn't have that weird paint, and it almost looks like his chest is torn open, and his face looks a bit different. It's the same with Chica, her face looks a bit different. I think that maybe there's a few different versions of these guys floating around. There's like prototypes and stuff, and we haven't seen the very final ones, so I guess we'll just have to wait until we do, because it looks very exciting, and I really want to see what these guys look like, especially when they're released, because I'm going to be buying them day one. Anyway, Jazwares, as well as the Endo series, is doing a World of Waves. So this is essentially figurines that don't have the endoskeleton, so you don't have to buy them, you don't have to get the extra suit, you can just get the one character. And I feel like this is what most people are going to buy, because honestly they look a bit better. So keep in mind, these are prototypes, they are not finalized, so they probably will look a bit different when they finally release. But let's take a look. So first we have classic Freddy, and he still has the clean paint. All of these guys unfortunately have the clean paint, but his eyes look so much better. They look so much better with the eyelid partially down and the face, you know, a bit calmer. It looks so much better. He looks like he's come with his microphone, which is really cool. I wonder if it'll be molded into his hand, or if it'll be like something you can take off. That'd be really cool. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. He looks to be missing his freckles as well, but again, these are prototypes, so it probably doesn't matter too much. Anyway, then let's take a look at Chica, who, again, she looks great. She looks better than the World of series, but again, she really, really needs that dirty paint. Like, that yellow is so bright. And you can see here a bit clearly that it looks like the endoskeleton parts aren't painted silver. On Freddy they are, but on Chica they aren't, and it makes a big difference. Like, she looks like she's made out of butter. Otherwise though, face, sculpt, everything looks great. Then we'll take a look at Bonnie, and Bonnie would obviously, like Freddy, just reuse the same sculpt as the Endo series ones. He looks good. He looks a bit purple, a lot darker than the original Endo series figurines. But again, prototype, probably doesn't matter. But look how much better his eyes look when they're relaxed. They look so much better. They need to do this more. Anyway, then we have Foxy. Again, looks fantastic. However, the endoskeleton looks really, really strange. I don't know what's happening with that. I don't know if there's going to be an endoskeleton under him or what, but it looks really weird. He looks good, but it looks very strange. And it's cool to see that they corrected the endoskeleton feet. Now he only has 2 toes, but yeah, I'm intrigued to see how they're going to go about it. If it's just like painted on, or if it's actually sculpted onto there. That would be really, really cool, but yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, then our last figurine is Golden Freddy, which is of course a repaint of Freddy. And if you thought Chica looked like butter, holy moly, man. This just looks like a stick of butter that happens to look like Freddy. It is so yellow, it needs that dirt. Honestly, I wouldn't blame people if when they bought these, they just rubbed them in a bunch of dirt for a while to make them look better, because these look way too clean. Like, they look good, do not get me wrong, but they are just way too clean. So this is the World of line, which means that they'll probably have the jump scare action as well, because the World of line is where the toy animatronics came from. If you guys are interested in a review of that, make sure to go watch the video in the description. Anyway, then we're going to take a look at the World of set packs. So this is something I've actually always wanted from Five Nights at Freddy's, and I honestly could not be happier that we're finally getting it. So it looks like you can buy the figurines either on their own, or you buy them with a piece of the set. And it looks like Chica comes with a door, Golden Freddy comes with the office, which makes sense, Foxy comes with another door, and so on and so forth. And the door works. I don't know how, but they're gonna have working doors, which is so dang cool, man. Jazwares are cooking. But it's just even better that we finally get an actual office. We've never had one other than like Lego or stupid little things that didn't really work. But this is like a proper office and it looks amazing. I am so excited about this. They've done really well. Jazwares, you have done well. I honestly, all I can hope for is that they build more of these so that we can make an entire pizzeria. That would be fantastic. But yeah, well done, Jazwares. This looks great. Anyway, we're going to start wrapping up here with the plushes. So we did have a look at the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 plushes, which actually haven't dropped yet. But now we have a look at the Wave 2, which is the toy animatronics. So we got Balloon Boy, Toy Chica, Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, and Mangle. I think they look pretty good. They look a bit better than the Funko ones, but they look less accurate to the games. But I kind of appreciate that they're just doing their own thing. I think they look good. They look fine. I would have liked to have seen a puppet, but I get it. One thing I really, really do like, though, is how Mangle has the little mini head on it. Like, that is so dang cute. I really don't have that much to say, but it is very cute. And with our final piece of merchandise of the day, we are going to take a look at this that got recently revealed. We have a Nightmare On plush coming out. This is so random. They haven't even touched Five Nights at Freddy's 3 or Sister Location, but they're just going straight for the kill with this guy. I don't know why. It is strange, but it looks great. Looks like good plush. We don't have any other better pictures of this guy yet, but it looks great, so I am very excited. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Sorry that this video was so long, and it is a little bit late. I tried to make this video like 10 separate times, but then Funko just kept releasing more stuff. I mean, not Funko. Oh my god, sorry. I did not mean to say that. Jazwares. I have to get used to that now. Jazwares did share these really good looks, and I wanted to take a look. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below which figurine or plush you're most excited for, because this is looking to be a really great and interesting wave, and I'm excited for Five Nights at Freddy's merchandise future. When these guys release, I will be picking them up and I will be doing unboxing and reviews, so keep an eye out for those. If you like this video, make sure to drop a like, and if you like all my videos, make sure to subscribe. And without further ado, peace out.